Since we got yesterday the new Asuka, which is Wind, people have been asking if they should be pulling for this version or the previous version from the part 1 of the collaboration, which was the Fire Asuka. So today we'll be talking a little bit about which one is better to pull depending on your account and where they excelled and their shortcomings for both of these units. As usual, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, Wind Asuka versus Fire Asuka. Now if you don't want to watch the whole video, watch me jumping for a little bit, this is going to be the whole video, okay? These are the things I want to be talking about as to which one you should be pulling for. Right now on NIKKE we are on a good spot where most characters are good. Most characters we've been getting are great characters. We've been getting some unusual dog shit characters, but for the most part, right now Shift Up is doing decent kits. So it's no longer pull or skip or this is a mass pull, this is a mass skip. The only broken characters are every 6 months, right? Every 6 months we get our new Pilgrim, whatever it is, or new Overspec now, and those are the really strong ones. Outside of that, you can basically skip and pull based on your account and what you like. And this is the same thing for both of these Asukas. So let's talk a little bit about if you care about raids, which one is going to be fitting more for your account. Now let's start with the Fire Asuka first, and then we'll go into the Wind Asuka. Starting with Fire Asuka, the first thing we need to talk about is that Alice is free, okay? So when we talk about what characters do you need if you're a new player, I would go personally for the Wind Asuka because you'll be able to get Alice for free with the Alice Diary right here. So you can get the strongest probably fiery unit right now, actually no, the second strongest fiery unit because there is Rapid Red Hood, but the second strongest fire character for free, which is Alice. So in that regard, the Fire Asuka loses a little bit of value. And on that same topic, which is the second point right here, a lot of meta characters are fire right now. So once again, if you are looking to build other elements, you might want to go for a Wind. Because right now we have so many good characters that are fire that you might prefer to start building other elements instead. The third point, and also more towards raids, is that not only the Fire Asuka is a DPS, but she is a buffer. She's a buffer for elemental content for fire characters. The downside of this is that she needs a shielder on the team in order to proc this. When she gets a shield on a skill 2, as you can see, she is getting damage as a strong element, increased by 25% at level 7. So for elemental content, she is better than the Wind Asuka because not only she's a DPS, but she's also buffing the other strong characters. But she needs a shielder in contrast. There is a few characters that can be used for this, but it's something to take into consideration. The last thing that is important to remember about the Fire Asuka is that she doesn't benefit from a lot of buffs. She gets so much on her own. At level 7 she's getting 83% attack, 25 elemental, she's getting damage to cores 50%, she's getting pierce damage, 121 attack damage, the hit rate, everything also. So she really only benefits from damage taken debuffs that, for example, Ludmilla can provide, Blank can provide, or even the new Asuka can provide, and also for reload speed. The other buffers don't really benefit as much because she loses some of that extra damage, right? Because we're reaching the point of getting too many buffs on these characters. But still it's pretty good because this means you can put her on basically almost any team composition without worrying too much where she is, as long as there are other fire characters and someone for the shields. Now, that for our Fire Asuka. Let's talk a little bit about why would you want to pull or not for Wind Asuka, which is the new one. By the way, I prefer this one to the old one. I don't like the fire one too much. The Wind one looks better in my opinion. Still, none of them have good assets, but that's just me, okay? That's just me just saying. Now, Wind Asuka, the best thing about her in my opinion is that right now we have no good Wind DPSs, okay? Now, when I say no good Wind DPSs, I mean outside of course, SBS. There is nothing else, literally. The other things you have, it's Mana, Rosanna, Sakura, you have your Guilty, your Nora as a support, but there is no carry per se on Wind. So this is really good if you are looking to build multiple elements like we were saying earlier. The new Asuka is gonna benefit you a lot more than pulling for the fire one, considering there is a lot of fiery units. The second point is that, of course, she needs another character to unlock full potential. And in contrast to the Fire Asuka, this doesn't have to be just a shielder. This has to be specifically raid. It specifically has to be raid. You need both of them for full potential. Even without raid, she is already the second best DPS in Wind, but we need both of them in order to take that to the next level. This also means there is limited team compositions because both Asuka and Rei are B3, so you need to build a team around them in contrast to putting your Fire Asuka on any team as a second DPS, right? You will just fit in there rather than having to build a team around those two. That's the third point that is important to mention. And the last point to talk about, which in my opinion is one of the deciding factors to pull for a character nowadays, is that Wind Asuka is cheaper to build. You can ignore skill 2 and leave this at level 4. Skill 2 at level 4 is giving you 22% attack damage, I believe it is, 22-23, meaning you only gain a 3-4% increase on attack damage buff, and then a little bit of heal, which doesn't even matter, okay? What matters is this attack damage. So skill 2 can be left at level 4, or you go all the way to level 10. There is no in between. Level 7 is not worth for the resources. And same for skill 1, you don't really need to go higher than 7, even though you could for the extra damage, but it's cheaper to build than Asuka that need investment on all her skills. On the fight Asuka, sorry, that need investments on all of her skills. So she is cheaper to build, but you need to build both characters, so you would need to build both Rei and Asuka in order to take full advantage of their kits, like we were saying earlier. Now, all that jumping aside, in my opinion, those are like the things to take into consideration to see where you need to pull or which one is gonna benefit more your account. We're at a point in NIKKE where thankfully, you can decide what characters you wanna pull. Now, obviously, these two characters are limited. We are not getting them back. For people saying this is a rerun, this is a part 2. A part 2 is super different from, actually getting a rerun. I don't think we will ever get a rerun again for the collaboration characters or for any abnormal unit. Now, if I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong, because having the possibility of acquiring any of these girls long term again is good for everyone. This is not bad. We cannot complain for getting more options to get these limited units that you might have not ever get the chance to get. Like, for example, the best booty in the game, which is gonna be 2B, my god. But all that jumping aside, those are the points that I wanted to go through in order to see which one is better for your account. I will say both of them are at a similar level when it comes to usability, because it's gonna be elemental content for the most part. You are not gonna see them outside of those elemental contents. You might see Asuka for some hard campaign depending what you're doing, but even then it's rarely seen. Most likely the new Asuka is also gonna be on a 0.5 because she is pretty strong. There's also been some changes to the tier list, but I will talk about that on a separate video when I make the full review for the new Asuka. All that said, that's gonna be for this one. As usual, any other points or any other differences that you guys might have seen on these two Asukas that might be important for a new player to decide where they wanna pull, leave a comment down below. We're gonna be live later. Come say hello. Have a good day. Good luck with your pull, dinnerets. I'll see you on the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。
天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。